Welcome to the Netivot Shalom Shir. I'm going to speak about something that's in the Parsha for Eretz Yisrael this week, which is Behalotcha. Because of the fact that this past Shabbat was also Shavuot to the Chutz La'aretz. Chutz La'aretz is now a week behind us, so their Parsha is Naso. So I'm gonna just stick to the Parsha from Eretz Yisrael. In Behalotcha. And in Behalotcha, we're going to talk about tonight. The subject is Shabbat is the life source and the life force for all blessing and holiness in the world. And in the Parsha Behalotcha, after talking about going to war against our enemy and Hashem saving us from our enemies, then the following sentence appears. Uviyom simchaschem, also on the day of your happiness, u'moadechem, and your holidays or your appointed seasons, Rosh Chodechem, the first of your month, your new months, uskatem b'chatzosros al oloseihem, you should blow the shofar on your burnt offerings, v'alzivchei shalmeichem, on your peace offerings, should be for remembrance before God. I am the Lord your God. Just as an aside, those three words, Rashi points out, how does he say? He talks about these three words as being the basis. Uskatem, the blowing of the shofar, is the basis of the shofrot section of the Shemot Esra on Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, Shemot Esra is divided into three sections: shofrot, zichrot, malchiot. So the uskatem b'chatzosros reflects the shofar. Later on the pasuk, zikaron is zichronot, the remembrances. Ani Hashem Elokeichem is the Malchiot, the kingship of God. That's just an aside. It has nothing to do with tonight's Netivot Shalom, but if we're looking at that pasuk, we should understand what some of the meanings are. Now let's go to the Netivot Shalom. It says, Yom Simchaschem and so on. V'dorshu al zeh b'sifri. Sifri explains this as follows. Elu hashabosos. Yom Simchaschem, he says, these are your Shabbatot, the Sabbaths. Kvar hikshu al zeh, and they ask questions on this. Sharayot nizkar klal b'Torah, mitzvah simcha b'Shabbos. The Torah doesn't command us to be sameach, to be happy on Shabbos. Ela b'moadim, only with the Yom Tovim, with the holidays. It says with the holidays, v'sumachtu b'chagecha, you shall be happy in your holidays. So madua nikra Shabbatot Yom Simchaschem. So why here does the reference made to the Shabbatot, to Sabbaths, as the day of your great joy? Umehai tama yesh edim gorsim elu hashabbatot. And because of that reason, some people don't explain this sentence the way the Netivot Shalom is explaining it. Yom Simchaschem to mean referring to Shabbos. Yesh levar b'zeh, we have to understand this. Then Yomer Chazal, and in Gemara Tanis, the sages tell us, al pasuk Sena v'rena b'nos Yitzion Melech Shlomo Atarat she'atrelo imo b'yom chosono asono b'yom simchas libo. Says, look and gaze at the daughters of Zion, who look at the king Shlomo, Solomon the king, with the crown that his mother gave him on the day of his wedding and a day of his great simcha. The Gemara there says these are all different hints at the relationship between God and Israel. The word melech refers to God, as it says in the Gemara, and then Imo refers to Bnei Israel, because sometimes Bnei Israel is referred to as a daughter, as a child, as the mother, the wife. And Yom Chasana, so that's what the Gemara there says. So now that Netivot Shalom explains further, he says, Yom Chasono, what does it mean the day of his wedding? The day of his wedding is a Matan Torah. This is when Bnei Israel got married, to, so to speak, to Hashem. This is the time of giving the Torah. Yom Simchas Libo, the day of the rejoicing of your heart, Zu Binyan Beis HaMikdash. This refers to the building of the Beis HaMikdash, of the Holy Temple. Yom HaSimcha Gadol B'Yoter Ubinyan Beis HaMikdash. The greatest simcha was the building of the Beis HaMikdash. Why? Ki inyan Beis HaMikdash hayu yichud Kodesh Baruch Hu Yisrael. Because the whole aspect of the Beis HaMikdash was to effect a unification, a unity between God and the children of Israel. As it's written, V'asuli mikdash, I will make you should make for me a sanctuary, v'shochanti b'tocham, and I will dwell not in the sanctuary, but in you. L'chein, therefore, binyan Beis HaMikdash, the building of the Beis HaMikdash, v'yom simchas libo hagadol b'yoter. This is the greatest day of joy. Das zeh, and because of this, yesh lamer b'nogei l'Shabbos Kodesh. We have to see how this affects the Holy Shabbos. Shehu yom simchaschem, because Shabbos is a day of joy. Why? Shehu yom hayichud ben Kodesh Baruch Hu Yisrael. Just like the Beis HaMikdash was a time of joy, the building of the Beis HaMikdash was a time of joy because it brought about the unification of God with the children of Israel. So too, Shabbos brings about the unification of God with the children of Israel. Because as it's written, Beini uve'emei Yisrael oski liolam. God says, between me and between the children of Israel, Shabbos will be a sign forever. Uperush b'zeh, and the explanation of this, Vara HaKadosh B'Kuvran Suchalenu, that Rav Kuvran says, and it's also talked about in the Holy Orach Chaim, between me and the children of Israel, it will be a sign. She'etzim Shabbos, because the main aspect of Shabbos, the foundation of Shabbos, hi ha'os, it is the sign of hayichud and the unity between Kadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael, between Hashem and Bnei Yisrael. Barak la'olam, and what does it mean la'olam? Which we translate as forever. Hatam hanigla avar ha'olam. The reason is revealed about the whole creation of the world. Kisheishes Yomim Asa Hashem Es Hashuai V'Soretz. In 6 days, God made the heavens and the earth. L'chein Shabbos Kodesh, and therefore the Holy Shabbos, Yom Simchaschem. This is the day of joy. Ki hu Yom HaYichud Ben Kodesh Baruch Hu Yisrael. It's the day of Yichud, of getting together, of unifying the children of Israel with God. In the comparison of the wedding, the yichud room after the wedding, that's the time that the closest relationship gets into effect. And Shabbos is the day of that close relationship between God and children of Israel. Both of these interpretations are the words of words of life. There's many times in where you have two differing opinions, and nonetheless, They're both living words of God. Even though there's not a specific mitzvah, commandment of joy on Shabbos, Shabbos Kodesh, through the actual reality of Shabbos, Yom Simchaschem, it's a day of your joy. Yom Shel Simcha Ilayit, a day of the highest joy, Anovat V'Hadrega Shel Yichud Kodesh Baruch Yisrael, Sheyesh B'Shabbos. The greatest simcha, the highest simcha that comes from the unity of Bnei Yisrael and Hashem, and that is Shabbos. And it's not dependent if there's a mitzvah, a commandment to be joyful, whether or not a Jew is in fact happy on Shabbos. The happiness of Shabbos isn't dependent on what you do. You are Shekain Etzem Amatzios, the reality shall be Israel, between me and between God and Bnei Israel, Osi Leolam, the sign forever, who are Simcha Gadol B'Yotzer Eitza Yehudi. This is the great joy that comes before a Jew. That's the reality. The Metzios of the matter. The reality of the matter is that no matter what you do, Shabbos is a day of Simcha. You're surrounded with the Simcha of Shabbos, whether you like it or not. It's the essence of it. Amashmot Hapanimi Shabbos, what means the internal aspect of Shabbos Kodesh, the Aldas, the Isa Sefer Kodesh, as it said in the holy books, the Shabbos he bechinas nesuyin ben Kodesh Baruch Hu Yisrael. Shabbos is the aspect of a wedding between God and Bnei Yisrael. Kedisa b'avod ram, as it says in the Avod Ram, the Seder Tfilos Shabbos Kodesh. He talks about the three different tefillot on Shabbos: Friday night, Shabbos morning, and Mincha. He says the B'leil Shabbos Kodesh, Omri Mati Kadashta. In the Shemon Esrei, we say Ati Kidashta, you've made us holy. Keneged Kedushin, Shemakadesh Hachatan Lakala. Just like the Kedushin that a Chatan gives to his bridegroom, which says Haryat Mikadeshet. So that's Kedushin. Shabbos Baboker, in the morning, Omri, what do we say in the Shemon Esrei? Yismach Moshe. Moshe rejoiced. Hashem Simchat HaChatan Ben Yisrael. This is reference to the joy of the Chatan at his wedding. Mincha, what do we say? Mincha we say Ater Echad. Ater Echad. You are one. Hashem Hayichud. Shemishyachli HaChatan Imakala. This is reference to the unity, the yichud after the ceremony of the Chatan and Kala. This is the aspect of the day of your joy. Even though if there's not a commandment of Simcha, the foundation, the basis of this day, Yom Simchaschem, it is the day of your joy. Just like the wedding, the comparison to the wedding. Od Yesh Lomar, you can also say, as it said, Inyan Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbos. The shir that we say, the song that we say Friday night, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbos. Shehu Hashir Shehu Halvim Omrim Bebeis HaMikdash Yom HaShabbos. This was the song, the Tehillim that the Levim sang in the Holy Temple on Shabbos. And in this whole Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbos, Ein HaShabbos Muzkeri Klal. the word Shabbos doesn't appear. Shabbos is not mentioned at all, except in the introductory sentence, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbos. So how is this called the Psalm of Shabbos? Elad B'chol Yemos HaShavua. All week long, all the 6 days of the week before Shabbos. Sovel Yehudi Kol Minei Tzar. A Jew goes through all kinds of pain, Agmas Nefesh, difficulty, Hashaychim Ba'olam Hatalos, things that are connected with the lower world, the world of struggle that we're in. V'bo Shabbos Kodesh. But when Shabbos comes, Yehudi mitnar me'afar hacholin, a Jew pulls himself up, wakes up, removes himself from the dust of the week. Ubitzromem la'olma shel Shabbos, he rises up to the level of Shabbos. Oz, then Roa, he will see, Eichana heget habore kulo chesed. You will see how what Hashem does is only chesed, only kindness, v'kula rachmin, and only mercy. Zehu mizmor shir liyom haShabbos. This is mizmor shir liyom haShabbos. Shebiyom haShabbos, on the day of Shabbos, Roa Yehudi, a Jew sees, Kama tov lahodos laHashem, how good it is to praise Hashem, ulezamer l'shimcha alyon, to sing His high name. Yishimchtani Hashem before Alecha, v'basi yadecha aranein. Hashem is happy with your work, and I will sing for His works. Tzadi katamar yifrach, the righteous shall grow like a tamar tree, a date tree. It's called Tochen Mizmor. The whole aspect of this particular Mizmor Shel Shabbos, Matar es hasimcha shel kol habriya bechesed Hashem. It relates the joy of all creations with the chazdei of Hashem, with the kindness of God, v'chi tov lahodos laHashem, and how good it is to give praise to God. Arizeb emes Mizmor Shir, and in truth, this psalm, Mizmor Shir, Amatim Rak Yom HaShabbos, is fitting only for Shabbos day. Bo Mesugo Yehudi, because at that point a Jew reaches the level of halos, to rise up, lirot, and to see Eich Shabriya Kula Tov Chesed. He is able to take himself out of the difficulties of the week and look at the beauty that God has created around us, and see that all that God has done for us is only good and kindness. Zeu perish yom simchaschem, and this is what is meant, the days of your Shabbatot, the days of your Simcha, Eila HaShabbatot, these are the Sabbaths. Shabbos bitromem Yehudi lamala me'olam hatalos. On Shabbos, a Jew is lifted up above the difficulties of this world. And because of this, Nasit lo Shabbos Yom Simchaschem, because he's lifted up out of the dust of the week, his Shabbos then appears to him as a day of great joy. It's turned into a day of great joy. The Bechiras, the aspect of Kisi Maktani Hashem before Alecha, Hashem is happy with your work. Yom Simcha V'Ranana, a day of joy and singing Al Chesed Hashem, on the kindness of Hashem, Amamali Es Kol Haaretz, that fills the whole world. Od Yesh Lomer, we could also say, the parish Yom Simchaschem Eila Shabbosos, we could say on that same sentence, Shabbos Kodesh Hu Yom Simchaschem. The reason is Shabbos is called the day of your joy is Mishum Shehi Makor HaSimcha L'Chol HaSmachu, because it is the foundation of joy, anything joyful that happens in the world. Hadas Shepershu Madikasu Vayvorach Hakim as Yom HaShvi V'Kadish also, and as explained in when God is resting on the seventh day, after telling what happened during the first 6 days, and it says, God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. Shabbos hu hamayan lechol inyane bracha kedusha. Shabbos is the well, is the nourishment for all aspects of blessing and holiness. Everything comes from Shabbos. Shabbos hu hamayan lechol inyane bracha kedusha. Shabbos is the life spring that brings all holiness and blessing into the world. Al derech zeh, because of this, HaShabbos hi hamakor le'inyanei simcha. Shabbos is the basis of any part of simcha, of joy. Zeh inyan simchas Shabbos, and this is the aspect of the joy of Shabbos. Shekodem hachatuna, before somebody gets married, shachatan ola bola Torah, Shabbat chatan, the chatan gets called up to the Torah before the wedding, Shabbos before the wedding. As is explained in the book Be'er Ma'achayim, Omoron Admor B'Beis Avraham Zoskaleni, and he also, they always repeat this. They always repeat this. What does it repeat? Shekol Ha'oros HaKadoshim Sheyesh B'Meshech HaShavua. All of the holy occurrences, the holy things that happen to you during the week, everything that happens to you during the week, the holy things that happen, Artem Nimshachas B'Yeredes B'Shabbos Kodesh Lefnei Kain. All of the holy things that are happening are caused by the illumination, by the light by the feeling generated on the Shabbos before that event. That's why the before the wedding we have the Shabbat Chatan, and that then generates the simcha that'll happen at the wedding. He gives other examples. As B'Shabbos Tshuva, Lifnei Yom Kippurim, between Rosh and Yom Kippur, we have the Shabbos of returning to Hashem. Yoredet Ha'ara Neshama Shal Yom Kippurim, from that Shabbos between Rosh and Yom Kippur, that brings the light, the illumination, the soul of Yom Kippur. Shabbos Hagadol, and the Shabbos before Pesach, Yoredet Ha'arot Shel Chag Pesach, the light of the festival of Pesach comes down to have that light, have that day nourished by the Shabbos before it. Also all of the holidays of the year. All of the high levels of the Chag, the illuminations of the Chag, the occurrences of the festival, Nimshachat, continue v'yoredot b'Shabbos HaKodemet. They're put into motion on the Shabbos before. Just like there's the joy of a wedding in the midst of the week, Hamshacha Simcha, the joy continues. From the day of Shabbos that occurs before that. Shekal habracha v'akadusha, all the blessing, all of the holiness, v'asimcha, and the joy, nimshachim me'ashabbos, occur on Shabbos, occur from Shabbos. Yechal birchan d'leila v'ta b'yomesh shvia tilayin. As it says, all of the blessings of above and below, they come out on Shabbos day. This is the mayan of Shabbos for Kedusha, the fountainhead. V'chein kol hashot analot, all of the high hours, sheyesh lehudi be'emtza hashvua, the high points that you have during the week, where do they come from? They come from the previous Shabbos. During the week, we have times that these are high periods, and we're on a little bit of a high. Things look like they're going great. Maybe free for a moment from the travails. That comes from the previous Shabbos. That's what it means. These are the days of your simcha, the days of your Shabbatot. The Shabbos he makor mimenu. A makor, the Shabbos is the basis. Mimenu nimshachim, from which flow all habracha v'chol simcha, all blessing and all joy. Let us learn to look at Shabbos that way, as this is our lifeblood. This is what gives us the power. It gives us the power of continuing in the week and brings the good things into the week. So Shabbos isn't only a great day of joy in and of itself, by its very metziot, its very reality, but it carries that joy into the next week. Adkan, I'm going to stop the recording now. Thank you for listening. Before I end, I guess in deference to anybody in Chutz La'aretz who might be listening to this and wondering about Parsha Naso, let me just say 2 or 3 words about what happened in last week's Parsha in Israel, Parsha Naso, which is the Parsha in the States. It says in that Parsha, Ko Sevorach Es Hashem, talks about the blessings of the Kohanim, and he uses the word Ko, Kaf Hey. This is how you shall bless Hashem. Why is that word used? It could just say Sevorach Es Hashem. Ko seems extra. Well, Shem Tov says that a person is like his shadow. Hashem does to a person like a shadow does to the person following. In other words, whatever you do, your shadow follows. Similarly, whatever we do here, Hashem will do above, will do for us. So if we are rachamim, we're mercy, we're kind, and Hashem will give us that kindness too. And the word ko is Kain hu asa, so too he will do. So God will do to us just as we are doing to him. And what does that have to do with Birchas Kohanim? The blessing of the Kohanim has to be done with love. Kohanim can't give a blessing unless they love everybody in that congregation. If somebody doesn't like them or they don't like that person, they can't get up to the Duchan to give a blessing. Ko Sevorach Hashem. So that's left over from Parsha Naso, that we should remember that everything we do, Mida connected Mida, God will mirror what we do. Thank you for listening. Now I'm going to turn the recording off.